More than 50% of runners get injured on average every year, and that's a lot. So if you are one of them, I'll show you in this video what are the best strategies you can apply in order to accelerate your recovery, how to minimize your performance loss if you have to stop running, and how to avoid getting injured in the first place the best you can. Hey guys, Mathieu here. I've been doing a lot of research for this video, and this is based on the latest scientific studies in the subject, so you might be surprised at what it reveals in the end. I also had a chance to talk to one of the world-renowned physiotherapists in the subject. He specialized in treating and preventing running injuries. You're going to have extract of this conversation in this video as well. I also have been injured many times over, and I think I've never met a runner that never got injured. It's part of a runner life. It's a lesson. But you might be thinking, if so many people are getting injured, isn't it bad for my knee? It's actually the opposite. Running makes your joints and cartilage stronger over time when done properly. The real injury is not moving, being sedentary. The consequences are much worse than getting injured once in a while.
It's true that running can cause musculoskeletal injuries, but at the same time, they prevent so much other problematic. And when I say problem is like different pathologies, like we can decrease up to 60% breast cancer. We can decrease by,
wow.
just by running every day. The good amount, you can decrease by a huge amount every pathologies of the modern man.
Why do we get running injury? And no, it's probably not about your running technique. An injury happens most of the time when the body is exposed to too much mechanical stress. That's it, punto.
So 80% of the cause of injuries is the too much too soon, okay? It's the bad mechanical stress quantification. There is a 20% that is related to maybe biomechanics, maybe running shoes. And when we say running shoes, it's not the running shoes itself. It's the running shoes causing not the best biomechanic to protect your body.
So please do not overthink your stride. We all have different biomechanics, and running will naturally improve it. There are three types of mechanical stress. One is volume, which is the amount of time you spend running, but also can be defined by the number of kilometers each week. There's also speed, which is your pace, the intensity that you put in your training, and elevation. All right, so basically, I need to make sure to run slow on flat ground, not too fast, and once a week, right? Well, yes, if you do this, you will certainly avoid getting injured, but you will also never progress. The challenge is to find this sweet spot where you are progressing, which is between too little stress below the green line and too much above the red line. They are aggravating factors that will diminish your stress tolerance, which is basically pulling this red line. To simplify, it is sleep, nutrition, and psychological stress, which can be related to work or personal. Control these factors will greatly help you to stay injury-free. Get between 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. Consume enough calories inside but also outside of your training. I am talking about whole food, bio, with enough carbs and protein. And now, the good part. How can you prevent running injuries? You understand now that injuries are caused by too much mechanical stress, but you need this stress in order to get better. Which means you probably want to get your body used to more and more stress. And that is progressive overload. The idea is to increase the volume, which remember can be distance or time, progressively. Progressive overload is the best way to avoid injury. The 10% rule is a safe reference, not more than 10% compared to the previous week, but it is not an absolute rule. There are exceptions.
I find this probably pretty good for most of my clients. But since I understand there is a lot of study speaking about these 10% rules, why not 9 and 8 and 15 and 14? It pleases to mind that 10 is something safe. But since a couple of years, we have different study that try to look with this number and say, okay, if we increase 10% per week versus we have like variation like 5, 15, 10, 20, what's happened? And we know that at a certain point, the risk of injuries increase.
For example, if you are returning from a break and you were used to run a high volume, you can increase faster. Or if you are already running a high volume, you probably want to be more careful with it. Adapt this progression to your level and fatigue. It is highly complex to measure mechanical stress on an individual, so listen to your body. Do you feel tired? Do you have sleeping problems? Are you easily irritated? Well, that means you are probably overtraining and you need to rest, my friend. This personally happens a lot to me, so listen to your body and get some rest. The human body is a fantastic machine of adaptation, but the progression is not linear. It follows a cyclical pattern. So basically, every few weeks, incorporate a deload week where you're gonna decrease both the intensity and the volume. This way, you'll give your body the time to super compensate, so you're gonna get better, and the time to heal the minor pains. So this is a screenshot of my Strava. After running an ultra, in May, I gave my body the time to recover, so I went back to running progressively, and I was careful to add a deload week every 3 weeks. So this is not an absolute rule, but this works for me. And now I am running more than 80 kilometers a week and I feel just fine. Okay, so I know this sounds very counterintuitive, but epidemiological studies have shown that among runners, those who run more often tend to get injured less.
When I say too much, it's too much in a volume, in intensity, in D plus, D minus, denivellation, okay? But it's not too much in frequency, because the first thing I will tell to someone if you want to prevent injuries is to run every day.
The more often you run, the more your body will improve its running mechanic and develop biomechanical and tissue adaptation, which means you'll get stronger. You can start with a 10 or 20-minute run and alternate between running and walking. There are two types of pain in running. The one that shouldn't be a concern, that you can safely ignore, it's part of being a runner, and the one that forces you to stop. Most of the time you have enough warning before a pain worsens and turns into an injury. So as soon as a limiting pain appears, take 4 to 5 days off. It will reduce the inflammation and fatigue, and you won't lose any fitness in 5 days. Does stretching and mobility help prevent injuries? Okay, so let's be clear about something. There is little to no scientific evidence that static stretching or mobility work help prevent injuries. I'm sorry.
You know, all the science of stretching are from 2000, maximum 2005, 10. After that, we have nothing.
I'm not saying that those are useless or you shouldn't do it. They do have other benefits, but this won't help you to stay injury-free. And what about strength training? Does strength training prevent injuries? So I'm going to surprise you, but here the answer is nuanced. The result of scientific studies do not provide clear evidence that strength training protects you from getting injured.
All the study looking for strengthening a specific muscle to prevent a specific pathology. Like, I want to strengthen my glutes to prevent knee problem. Okay, doesn't seem to work so much.
So no need for the gym then. However, heavyweight training promotes running economy.
There is some study showing that strength training, weight training with a lot of load, or plyometric training can both improve running economy. Means it costs you less energy to move from a point A to a point B. So because that, you will run faster with the same engine, the same VO2 max, because you are more economical when you move up.
Which means that your body will consume less energy for the same running speed. And that's pretty interesting. So never skip the gym, bro. And what about anti-inflammatories? Should you take anti-inflammatories? There are a lot of runners that take anti-inflammatories to get through the pain and the injury. They mask the pain, but they prevent optimal tissue healing and therefore limit adaptation. In 99% of cases, you shouldn't use them. They can be dangerous and make recovery more difficult.
Taking pills before a competition or before a hard training, like you take NSAIDs, increase the risk to have health complication. And sometimes health complication go up to death. You take an NSAID and you have like a little inflammation that are developed in your Achilles tendon. This inflammation is needed to treat the tendon, to repair the tendon. If you inhibit this inflammation, you will create low cell proliferation and low repair.
Hey guys, my name is Mathieu Hedin and welcome to my channel. I am an endurance coach and I train runners to complete their first trail injury-free. It is a private coaching tailored to you and based on science. For a limited time, I offer you a free call to help you build your training plan. The link is in the description. This channel is all about teaching you how to build up your endurance and sharing my own journey from ultra trail races to high mountaineering expedition. I am super excited to give you all my best advices, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification. What can you do if a running injury happens? Seek for professional help. Don't just treat the pain, find the cause. Pain is the consequence, the cause is what you must fix. You'll get a bunch of specific exercises, so please don't skip them. If recovery takes longer and you have to stop running, you can cycle, you can swim, you can row to maintain your endurance. Remember, you don't lose any gains in 5 days and you can cut your endurance loss by half. Return gradually to running. So you can start with a very slow run and alternate with walking and add exercises and drills that were prescribed by your physio. The goal is to rebuild tolerance safely and not rush back to volume. So go running now, take care, and I'll see you next time.